really appropriate, Nick.
It's super appropriate. I think this is great. I think it's excellent.
Considering the impeachment trial happening.
That was my thought, was that with the impeachment trial happening, that this would be an appropriate song to play, you know, and that after that, we would just come on and, oh my God, there we are. Look at us. It's the Chaos Twins. Welcome back. Hello, Sasha.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good. It's so good to see your face. So good to see your face.
Oh, it's good to see you too. You know, I just love it. Little skull cap. It's classic, Nick.
I look like a whaler. I look like I'm literally going to go out and like harpoon a whale.
You actually do, like a fisherman.
Like
you might have on those things.
Like the waders, the boots. The boots.
Yeah.
I should have boots. I should, in fact. I'm gonna put that as a thing.
You don't need that.
That I don't need boots.
No, Well, I mean, for the bit, if you wanted to.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's all for the bits, Sasha. It's all for the bits. You know, the bits. That's what this is all about. Oh, hello, everybody. It's so nice to see all of you.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, it's so good to see your faces. Welcome back.
Yay, healthy and glowing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, and Sasha, this is very important that we look healthy and glowing. Because what did I start? Because what did my wife have me start?
You guys. Nick has informed me that he has taken up his skincare routine.
I have a skincare routine.
In his full adult age, like fully an adult, been living in the world as an adult. What did you do before? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, you know what I did? Well, no, because, and I have to say this because, the one thing, my mother is a guest on the show today, by the way, and the one thing I do not want to do is embarrass her and make it seem like she did not train me well. So I, in fact, put lotion on every night because that's what my mom told me to do.
On your face. On
my face, on my body, but I didn't know that you could, in fact, push, do more.
Yo, Ashley coming in.
How's the skin?
Coming in hot.
Great question.
Good questions.
Great question. How does the skincare routine get around the beard? I'll tell you how. Because I do something different for the beard.
Oh, talk about the beard.
We're gonna talk about beard. Well, again, the second guest today is James Iglehart, and he will help me, talk about the beard oil because beard oil is a real thing. The other thing I've discovered though, coconut oil and jojoba oil. Jojoba.
Listen.
Do you know what I mean? I've never felt more black than putting coconut oil and jojoba oil in my beard.
And Nick, we know that feeling black is a struggle for you, so I'm really glad to hear it.
It's really been a lot of tension, guys. A lot of tension, especially now.
Listen, I have no opinions about it, but I will tell you, Nick and I have sat through many a session talking about why or why not he might be fitting for a black role, a black show, just a black conversation.
Anything black. So Sasha,
black haircut.
Yep, Sasha's been helping me because I've had a lot of, thankfully a lot of self tapes, a lot of auditions. As is Sasha, some of these self tapes require me to be a black man, be a man of African descent, and it is. I cannot tell you the times that I've gone to Sasha and been like, "Help me! I don't know what to do." Like Insecure, I don't.
That's literally what it was. Like. You had enough anxiety about us having Alex Hodge on the show from Insecure, Asian Bay, and then you got an audition for the show, which was great. You did a great job, but he had so much anxiety about being black, and I was like, "But Nick, you are."
Listen,
this literally, we spent the whole show talking about how people should not be put in boxes, that we need to be open, ideas, everything. And then you get an audition for Insecure and it all goes to shit.
I get an audition for Insecure and I become insecure. That is the show's fault, not mine. That is literally the title of the show.
All right. I don't know about that one.
But speaking of blackness, these next two episodes are very much about Black History Month. Now, whether the debate of whether we need to have a month that celebrates Black history or needs to just be celebrated the entire year, Black history is American history. We can get into that. But our guests are very much about that. And we had a conversation about how we wanted to approach Black History Month. What is our angle? What do we want to talk about? And it came to us that we wanted to talk about Black joy. right? The idea of Black joy, the idea of protecting your Black joy. And so whether that is health, whether that is just, watching your favorite movies, whatever that is, how do we as a culture maintain and protect our joy? And so every guest that we're having on this month is very much about that, and opening up the conversation to all of you. So with that, I think that, we're cutting down the segments because we have two amazing guests, but I want to bring the first one on for our Tag 'em today.
Tag 'em.
So Tag 'em, obviously Tag 'em is tag someone who is doing the work, activism, community service, arts in action, and or otherwise, who is making their corner of the world a better place. And this person, I have to say, has been making my corner of the world a better place for 33 years. 33 years, this person has lit up my life, and put up with my nonsense, but is also doing very important work in the community. So I'm very, very honored to bring on my mother, Liz Walker.
Yes!
Here she is. Welcome to the Chaos Twins.
I am delighted to be with you. Can I just make a disclaimer here? Is it my fault that you're insecure about the Black thing? Because I feel bad. Is that me? Did I do that? Because my generation worked so hard and made so many sacrifices so that our kids could, be exposed to an integrated world, and it backfired on me.
No.
What is it, Nick?
What is it? What happened? What happened? Did we kind of make you white or something? What happened? Did I mess up?
No, you did not mess up. You did not mess up. You know what I mean?
Lord.
James, I'm so happy. James is in the green room right now. He's watching this and laughing. I'm so happy you're here today because we're going to talk about this. It's not, no, you didn't mess up. You didn't mess up. But here's what I think, and I'm so glad we're talking about Black joy, because I think it has to do with Black excellence. I think that there is a pressure that could put on you society-wise that you have to achieve. You have to be part of that talented 10th. You have to do the thing, right? And for when I was growing up, and it's not, again, you actually counteracted this. You were very much, there was a whole Christmas, about 5 years of Christmas, where Mom purposefully bought me CDs of Black artists. Like, it was just her way of being like, hey, we have music too. And so
stop listening to that other stuff. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Do people know that you had to learn how to dance Black? Did they know that here?
They're aware of
that. Okay, I didn't know. I didn't want to put.
They don't know, and they've actually been asking about Nick's dance skills. So I'm so glad you're here to expound upon it.
Yeah, I could not.
People actually really want to know. If you want to know about Nick's dance skills, please drop it in the chat.
Now is the time to ask.
The more specific the question, the better. I can't really express to you how important of a resource we have right now.
Yeah, it's also, I will say, the man who taught me to dance, his name is Brian Harlan Brooks, and we all know him, we all love him, and he helped that out. But there's a societal pressure to achieve. And I think, and especially where I grew up, which was such a white town, it was like, okay, I got to be up at that echelon. Who's up at that echelon? Who are they allowing up at that echelon? Was all these white kids. And so that was very much what it was not, I think it's subconsciously strategic, but, I am finding comfort with my Blackness because I know that I am just Black because I am.
Yeah.
That's what it is,
and you don't have to prove or be this kind of Black or that kind of Black. And that can be very stressful because, there's no monolith here. There's no one way to be. Yeah. But you have to get there. And that can be hard. Yeah.
Well, I was reading about the talented 10th. We talked about this. A lot of conversations Nick and I were having sort of sparked this topic and the complexities of Black joy and the complexities of Black excellence and sort of the trappings of it. And I was looking at the talented 10th, and it's not a concept. It's something that was discussed in the Black community, and people like Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois, which was actually coined or is credited to a white man for whom Morehouse College is named. And I think that says a lot about the concept of only a small number of us being talented, or that there's a finite amount of us that can reach, and that when you reach that higher point or those higher echelons of society, that you will most likely not be around other people of color. And so then who you are who you have to become to sort of achieve that and then stay there can be a very challenging concept.
Absolutely.
For a young Black person coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that actually goes back to something, I mean, because you, Mom, I mean, you know, I'm very, very blessed to have the mother I have, and you have worked very, very hard since the beginning. And you have always been somebody who is achieving. And now, you know, and this is, you know, a little bit of a transition, but now you are achieving even in the midst of this pandemic, and your achievement is giving back to the community. Your achievement is helping us. So I mean, I want to know a lot of like, what are you doing right now? What is this?
Well, you know, I made the transition from being a journalist to being a minister, and it really has been one of the most exciting transitions in my life, in the sense that you kind of like dealing with the most extreme issues in life. You're dealing with birth and death. You're dealing with joy, but you're also dealing with a great deal of pain. There's a great deal of pain in our community and in our world right now. We're all traumatized. But what we're trying to do is to we have a program for the Corey Johnson program for post-traumatic healing, which deals specifically with the violence in our community, but now has kind of branched out to deal with all of the residual pain, all of the pain that's left over from historical trauma and racial trauma and, you know, generational trauma. So we're also involved in this issue of COVID vaccine distribution. We're trying to educate people and tell people how serious this is. Because of the trauma in our community, we don't trust. A lot of people simply don't trust, rightfully so, don't trust systems and don't trust, you know, this vaccine got out so quickly, and how could that happen? And why should I take it? And you're trying to kill me. And those things may sound, I don't know where you guys are, but a lot of people are not being open to taking the vaccine. Yeah. And so we're trying to tell people this is real, this is serious, and you need to really at least get as much real information about this, especially young people. Because young people think, you know, it's not, I'm not going to die from it, but your grandmama's going to die. I'm going to die. So this is all kind of, we're all in this together, and we're trying to inform people about that. And I really appreciate you guys giving me this platform to talk about it.
Well, I mean, it's amazing work that you guys are doing. So what does that work look like? Is it sending emails? Is it panels? Is it like, how are you getting this information out?
We started out with Zoom conversations in Boston. This was back about 3 months ago. We decided to pull our trauma group together, which is we have a core community of probably about 500 or 600 people, but any 1 month we meet or 1 week we meet with maybe 50 to 75 people in our little Zoom community since COVID. And we invited Dr. Anthony Fauci. And who knew? Fauci came. Got on the Zoom call with us. We notified people. We had 3,000 people on that first Zoom call.
Wow.
Anthony Fauci decided he would answer questions. So we've been having Zoom community meetings since then to tell people. But last week, I think it was last week, we went into the local jails. In Massachusetts, we made prisoners one of the priority groups because they live in tight congregate settings. And COVID is just rampant in those settings. And so they're getting the vaccine first. Very few states are doing that. I don't think anybody's doing that. We went into the prison to talk to the incarcerated. And many of those guys said, you're just using us as guinea pigs. And we said, no, let's give you the real information. So it's really trying to break through fear and anger and distrust and just get to the basics that this is a crisis. This pandemic is huge. And you need to know some information.
People are clearly enjoying it.
They're loving it. That breakdown in trust that you're talking about, it's hard, and it's hard within marginalized communities because there's already a breakdown of trust of does my government have my back? Does my society have my back? And in dealing with, you know, we have a nation where we've been applauding essential workers at 7 p.m. every day. And then when we go to, well, let's raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, we can't figure that out.
Right.
And there's like this, there's the safety net, the social safety nets, the care for each other. I think there's a need to really acknowledge that frustration. But then, like you said, also, even with that, like, yes, what you're feeling is valid and real, and everything that you know, the reasons that you have to mistrust this, yes. But at the end of the day, this is medicine, and we got to do, and especially for our people, especially for these communities, you're the one that needs it the most.
And the irony, Sasha, is that to me, nobody trusts anybody. I mean, so this is not just our community. This is every community in the country today. Nobody trusts anybody. Nobody wants to talk. We all want to scream at anybody. But I'm here to tell you, I've lived long enough to know this is us and them. That's not going to work either. I just want you to know that we're going to have to figure out a better way through. And part of it is this cross-generational talk, like I'm talking to you guys. This is huge. Who does this? What son talks to his mom? When was the last time I got a call from you, Nick? Just joking.
Wow. Here we are.
My favorites. I'm going to be sending you the link every episode. You just drop in when you want. We won't tell Nick about it. It'll just be.
I think we're good. But it's so true, Mom. And I mean, again, the work that you're doing is spectacular. If people want to find that work, if people want to interact, is there a website you have? Like what's the?
Oh wow! I should have given you. We are the Roxbury. Oh shoot, Nick! Why don't you ask me a tough question? You could go to me at Pastor Liz. Now, what is that? Is that my Instagram or is that my?
In here.
Okay, if you do that,
your Instagram.
You go to my Instagram. I promise you, I will get back with you, and I'll give you all the information. But we're Roxbury Presbyterian Church. .org. I know that. So just look us up. Please look us up. And it's not about preaching. It's really just about telling you how to build community around trust.
Of course. And we're going to put that right up on the screen.
Yeah, you got it.
I can look it up real quick too while we're on.
Yeah.
We got it.
We got it.
Oh, okay. That may be right. That may be wrong if I gave it to you. So I preach. I don't know details. I know big picture stuff, but I don't know little stuff. Like what's my email address? Good Lord.
If you want to email the church, you email them at roxpresschurch@gmail.com.
Shouldn't I have my own show, Nick?
You should have your own. Mom, it's whenever I hear you talk, it's almost like I'm talking to somebody who for 30 years has told the news. It's almost like that used to be your job. You know? Right there.
Channel 4.
Channel 4 News.
Oh, God, Nick, why that picture? That's awful. That's like 100 years ago. I can't find my email. Okay.
You're good.
I hope people are being entertained. I'm not giving you an email address. I can't find it. Lord have mercy.
Mama, we got your email. We got it up there.
It's RPC. Okay, I got a better one. Can we change that one? And then I'll leave you alone. I just need you to know. RPC Social Impact CTR.org. That's the real one.
.org. You got it.
RPC Social Impact CTR.org.
I love it. We're going to put it up there.
So much black joy. I can't even deal with
it. Okay. Well, that's my baby, and I'm proud of him. I'm sorry he didn't know how to dance. It wasn't my fault.
Okay.
Tried to teach him to dance.
Okay.
He wore the Michael Jackson glove for several years. I was worried about that.
James, get in here. Get in here. James, you're in now.
James, hi.
Hello, Pastor Liz. How are you doing? I just wanted to let you know that I totally understand. I totally happen to have it near.
My boy, that's my.
So many questions.
Here's the thing. I tease Nick a lot, but it's amazing how many similarities Nick and I have. I had when I was 10 years old. Because I am, 10 years older than Nick. So I was 10 when Michael did Motown 25, which was the first time we ever saw the glove. My mother went to, I think it was Karen's Fabrics or somebody, and I made her go out and get the sequence, and she built like 3 or 4 gloves. I had a green one, I had a silver one. I had one that looked just like his with the rhinestones, and I went to school with that thing on,
Oh my!
There's nothing like walking around in school and brothers want to play basketball, but it's white, so you can't touch the ball because it gets dirty.
Okay, I'm gonna go, right? And then you guys are gonna talk. Yeah. James, I love you. Javon, hi.
I love you too.
Good to see you guys.
All right, Mama.
Thank you for sharing.
Bye.
Bye.
There it is. There it is.
The funny thing is, there was so many things. There was so much information that came up with your mom there. And what I find interesting is that when you're growing up in the 80s and 90s, and as an African American kid, if your parents are professional and successful, there is a certain okay. I hate to bring it up because, I just brought up Michael, and I'm going to bring up another one I'm probably going to get in trouble for. That popular, wonderful show that set the world on fire. No, nobody wants to talk about, called The Cosby Show. There was a moment where Theo looks at his dad and he says, there was so much pressure, be something, do something. That's how we as Black kids felt. And the problem was, it wasn't our parents. Our parents were showing us how to be people, not Black people. Yep. The fact that we were Black, that's a given. When we look in the mirror every day, we are Black. It's not like we can, it's not like a costume we put on Broadway and we go, hey, I'm gonna be Black today, or I'm gonna be Shrek. No, we're just Black. That's just how it is. It's our complexion, it's our features, it's who we are, it's how we were born. Now, how we choose to act. Society has put a definition on what is Black, what is white, what is Asian, what is this, what is Christian, what is that? What are these things? There's these definitions of how you're supposed to act. So here Nick and I are, and Sasha, I know you've probably gone through this as well, especially being a butterscotch colored, lady.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm learning so
it's
much.
Like you step out of your house and your parents are professional. They have good jobs, they have educations, and they expect you to do your job when you go to high school. Now you go to high school and you meet some kids who don't have that same, what should we call it, quote unquote, home training. Now these non-home training children are what society says is Black. So we come into the school being ourselves who happen to be Black, and these Black kids go, man, why you talk like that?
Yeah.
Girl, why you how come your hair like that? Are you biracial? You mix because you light, you got that good hair. You think you better than us. Or how come you talk like Nick Walker? What kind of name is Nick? How come you ain't got a C in it? It's just your parents thought it was cool just to be N-I-K. How come you listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers and that Public Enemy?
Oh, why are you making me go back?
Why you listening to that? Why you listening to that white music? Or in my case, why you singing that white music? Always in there with that show choir doing that stuff. What, man, are you rich? Your parents got a nice car, you rich, and then they want to challenge you because the first thing they want to do, please don't answer a question in class. Please do not answer a question in class. Lord, gee, especially not science, history, or math. Please don't answer a question because then you know what you doing. They dish you for something like this. I'm gonna just say, you that Negro that do his homework. Yes, fool. It's like all the things you're supposed to do. To get ahead in life in high school, they're against it. And then we become insecure, as Nick said. So we do our best to try to fit in so that we don't get, talked about, or they don't decide to have what we used to do is every year, every first day of school, we play the dozen. So it would start. We would all go to the front and we would all start. And that's how whoever got there behind, well, that's just how it was the year. You had it's kind of like a tournament. You had to work your way back up to popular by the end of the year. So then you do all this to fit in. So then you get to college, and the college you go, I know how to be Black. And then you get to college, and college is a different kind of Black people. It's all the Black people who are educated, but it's only people who are educated for 1 year because you're a freshman. So you have them sophomores who only took one Black history class or an African-American class. And all of a sudden they're walking around wearing dashikis and African medallions, and they think that they are Black. And so they start talking to you about Black things. And the first thing they want to do is talk to you about anything that's white, whether it be your girlfriend, your boyfriend, the music you listen to, the car you drive. And don't you know that the man is trying to hold you down and he's trying to teach you certain things. And you're like, he's trying to teach you certain things. Dumbass, we're both at the same school. So what are you talking about teaching things? We're in the same class. So what, you just gonna be in class and just gonna be contrary because you ain't got nothing better to do? So of course you don't know how to be black there. So you do your best to let me go study. I'm a theater major, so let me go study every August Wilson play I possibly can. Let me memorize Wayne Hansberry and study every Dreamgirls and the Wiz I could possibly do to be black. And then you get into the real world and nobody cares. You get into an audition room and nobody cares where you went. Nobody cares what education you have. They care what talent you have. And then you have to deal with the real world of being black. And that's when you have to find your black joy, because you have to realize that the black joy doesn't come from the partners you hang with. It doesn't come from the education you have. It comes from the sunlight and the light inside of you. And what is your black joy? How do you bring that light? And every black person has their own light. And the brighter you shine, the brighter the black people are. But you have been so consumed with trying to prove your blackness to this person, or prove your not whiteness to this person, or do all these things. And then the three of us happen to be dumb enough to decide to not only want to make people happy, but we go into a profession where we are judged about how we look, how we sound, how we act. And it's amazing how every time you start to wonder, how am I good enough for whatever it is? And you have to find that kernel in you where you look in the mirror and you go, wait, I am good enough. I have been black enough this whole time. It doesn't matter whether it's the Black History Month. It doesn't matter whether there's a march. It doesn't matter what music you listen to. You are black because of how you were born. So you might as well just accept it and enjoy who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're a black person who reads Marvel comics, or a black person who loves horror films, or a black person who just all they want to watch is just BET shows. It doesn't matter if you're a black person who thinks Tyler Perry is the greatest director in the world. You are a black because that's how you were born. So you might as well enjoy it, because you only get one life. I don't give a damn what religion you have, whatever. When you get to your new life, you don't know. So if you were reincarnated, you wouldn't know, because you'd be in a different life. So the life that you have, enjoy it, shine in it, take the most. You don't know how many heartbeats you have. You don't know how many breaths you have. So you might as well be the best you can be. And in being the best you, that's when people start going, damn, man, look at that. That's a black man who's proud. Look how he is. He just has no fear. It's not that we have no fear. It's just that we believe in ourselves. And the crazy part is, the absolute crazy part is if every race felt that way, we wouldn't have these damn arguments about who's better, who's this, who's that. Just if you were just happy in yourself, you wouldn't be mad at somebody else for what they got. But it's so easy to be swept up because you want someone to tell you it's going to be okay. You want someone to tell you everything is going to be all right. That even these poor white folks are waiting for someone to tell them it's going to be all right. So what the rich people do is they tell them, well, it's the black people who did it. And then the other black people tell the black people it's the white people who did it. And it's the men who tell the people, well, the women are getting in the way. If you let the women run, we won't be men anymore, because, nothing like having a woman boss. I mean, you going to let a woman tell you what to do? Yes, I will, because my mom ran my house. If I let my dad run the house, the house would have got blown up. So I'm not stupid. You don't let men fix things unless you actually have education. You don't let brothers fix things. When I say brothers, I mean men in general. Unless you have an education to fix things. I don't cut my beard unless my barber says do it this way. I'm gonna go out there and just cut a hole. We're dudes. We just do things. So please, women plan. Women plan. Women plan. That's a good. Let's just put that out there. Women plan. You know why? Because they ain't going out looking crazy. So do I want a women boss? Yes, please, because she plans. So I said all that to say, Nick, as I've told you so many times, Nick Walker, you are black. You ain't got to find it. Dancing has nothing to do with your skin color. You don't believe me? Look at Justin Timberlake.
I'm out.
Boy, dance his face up. Dance his face.
Don't believe me.
Don't get me wrong. No, okay. How about this? Someone we know. Neil. That's a dancing white boy. That fool dance his face off, and you just want to slap the beard off him. You're like, would you please stop that? You're just pissing me off. You dance so well. I feel bad. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? So it's not those physical things, those things that we attach to a color. That's ridiculous. That's like when you say, oh, for a baby, it's blue, or for a baby, it's pink. No, it's a damn color. What do you want to put your son in? You know me, nigga. I'll walk out in a pink suit in a minute and word that, and not even on a red carpet, just on a Monday. Yes, like, what you want? Because it's Monday. We need to stop putting things on what is Black. It's not that. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a culture. There is a way of that is us. You know, our music, our style, there is something that we built. But this whole thing of talking Black, and trust me, I know I talk a lot and I will stop in a minute, but I think what tickles me is the whole thing of talking Black always makes me laugh. And here's what I mean. I was years ago, I love comedians. I was listening to Jeff Foxworthy. Yes, I was listening to a white country ass comedian. It was so great. And he went into this whole thing of, you know, you're a redneck if, and he said, you know, you're a redneck if, you just love shiny things. You just love shiny things. Even your boat's shiny. Everything in your house is shiny. And he started going down about talking about things that were, you know, you were redneck if. And everything he said, I started laughing at because Black people do that. And then I realized something. Go with me on this. Slaves are brought from Africa to the New World. They speak their own language. These Southern folks have taught them how to speak. These Southern folks have broken off from the folks in the North. The North people have been, because they came to New York, were speaking like the folks in England. But as they started to travel, their dialect changed. So things as far as horse became hoss, or things as far as Negro became the nigger. Now, you say nigger really fast and it sounds like the other word. So you have the Negro, the nigger, and the N-word. So you talk like that, and all of a sudden you start talking like this, but you want that boy, that Black boy out there to talk like you. So you tell that boy, hey, you talk like me. Stop doing your language. Next thing you know, these Black folks start talking like the masses because they don't want to get whipped by the masses. All of a sudden, the Black folks start talking like this. And as they start talking, generations move, and those generations, slavery ends, and that generation takes that dialect to Chicago, takes it to New York, takes it to Texas, takes it to California. And all of a sudden, these Black folks start being in these small little neighborhoods, which we start either calling urban or ghetto. And then that speech changes, and then it becomes all the different lingos. And then you start saying, oh, you talking Black, you talking white. No, fool, you are talking uneducated Southern, and you don't even realize that English is one way and a dialect is another. So when you walk up to someone and say, you talking Black, what do you mean? You need to know your history, but most people don't read. So therefore, we don't know that. But if you think about the way you talk, come on. If you get a Southern Black person and a Southern white person to talk about food or talk about anything Southern, with the exception of their experience, they pretty much sound similar.
I want to ask you, so also, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Chaos Twins.
Here we are. We're done. It's over now.
You're talking about a thing, talking Black. You're talking about, we're talking about this idea of the talented 10th. Mm-hmm. Of my thing is like, what pits us against each other? Because I've definitely experienced what you're talking about, and I know Nick has, and that's a hard thing to grapple with at 8 years old, at 16 years old, at 28 years old, of just, what do I represent? What am I supposed to be? Who am I like accountable to? All of these things. And I feel like so many of these characteristics are actually things that are superimposed on our community, or they become superimposed in our community, and they're not actually all cultural. Like you said, there is a culture, there is a thing that but it doesn't sound a certain way necessarily. It has to do with, community and family ties and things like that, and how we treat each other, but not necessarily how we sound or talk. Now, I know you are a Tony Award winning Black man in Broadway. Like, you are at the top of your game. You're at the top of our field. There has never, for me, existed a Broadway without James Iglehart. You were in the first show I ever did on Broadway. Like, you exemplify so much of the goodness and the excellence and the accomplishment. But I also know that being a Black man, you have like what you're talking about, and I'm going to guess from like everything you've just expounded upon that you've experienced, there's a lot of conflict around that.
Yeah, there is. And I think what it is that I'm probably going to be way more simplistic about this than I should, but it really goes back to insecurity. You have two kids. One who his parents are there and the parents are pushing this person to excellence. Then you have the other kid whose parents are trying their best, doing their best, but the situation just hasn't worked out in the best way. It's not bad. It's just not what the other kid has. So you have two kids. They're both highly intelligent. One is given all of the things they need and they're protected. Their parents have protected them from the world, but knows they have to live in the world, but wants to give them all the best and puts them in those places. The other parent says, I can't protect you, so I'm going to let you're going to have to learn in the world. So that kid grows this toughness and this chip on their shoulder. They both learn. One learns the street smarts and learns how to deal with the streets and blah, 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 blah. And the teachers the schools that they're at doesn't exactly have everything, and they have the drive. But if there's nobody pushing you, why would you push? So instead, you get angry and you push against it. These two kids meet. Now, the one kid who's taught the streets is taught to fight, taught to whoop, taught to talk to this, talk to ball, blah, 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 all that, the music, this and that. And the other kid, he is taught, Nick will get this, he's taught to talk his way out of situations. There's no need to get physical. We can talk about things. We can discuss. We can have a nice dialogue. Why do we have to get physical in this situation? Because I don't have to do that. So then you meet up. And then it becomes the classic thing that most Black kids go through. It's the I'm going to be intelligent versus the I'm going to whoop your ass. And the kid without the fighting skills, he's seen as the wimp because he doesn't swing first. And the kid without the kid with the fighting skill swings. So it's the insecurity of this kid who wants to swing, who's mad at this kid for having something he didn't have. But it's the insecurity of this kid who wishes he could be tough and badass like this kid. So now they're both upset and they can't find a common ground. And it really comes from just the insecurity of not having what the other one has. And if they were just open enough to talk, they would find the common ground and be able to help each other. But the parents don't talk because the parents over here don't want to be associated with those ghetto folks. And the ghetto folks don't want to be associated with those folks who think they're better than us. So then you have this divide. And this divide has lasted for years. And this divide has been there since slavery, when folks separated those Black folks who were seen as better and those Black folks who were seen as not better. And the betters, okay, you're given a situation where you can survive and not have to deal with the crap. Now, do you let your family starve and go, no, I'm going to go out there in the sun and work out there with the cows in the cotton field, or I can protect my family? So then they protect their family and they try to explain to the other slaves what happened. The other slaves like, oh, I see you just up there with them because you think you better than us. No, it's not that. They just give this. What am I supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Then we move into things like, I don't know, Broadway. So we're all here. There's a show. There's a Black show. It's written by a white man. All the Black people in it. Some of us got in, some of us didn't. Those that didn't come to the show. Those that didn't come to the show and see the show's a hit. And then what they do, we all go to Starbucks, we all sit down, they go, great show, great show. Then when everybody leaves, that one person who's got just a tad bit something to drink, like, I mean, it was all right, but it's that same thing of the white man saving the Black people. And I see y'all in the show. And then you have to read, and then you get mad and want to defend yourself. But then you realize, you auditioned the same day I did. You didn't get in. So are you really mad at me or mad at the situation? Now I can act crazy and defend myself and defend my Blackness and defend my show, or I can look at the situation as an intelligent person and go, you're not angry at this moment. You're angry about something that's way deeper than this. But Sasha, as you said, I'm old. Well, you didn't say it, but I'm saying the way you've been around Broadway as long as I have. I'm old.
I said Broadway has not existed for me without James Iglehart.
I'm making good jokes.
What I had meant was, you was on the stage when I came in and said, "Oh, I'm fresh and ready to go." Oh, look who's up there.
I am old enough to know when it was when I was fighting and having those situations during Memphis when folks would say stuff like that, and me having to go, no, I'm black and the show is black and this and that. And now here I am going, guys, what are you really upset about? Or just being cool and letting them vent.
Yeah, honestly,
and they go, what do you think, James? I'm like, hey, honestly, I just got through doing a 2-hour show. I'm tired.
It's also a trick bag because it's just like, yeah, like I wish we had more black producers and black writers and black directors and all the things telling our stories. But at the same time, like you said, and I'll, let you talk more about this too, Nick, is that there is a point, there's an aspect of survival since we got here that has been exploited. Mm-hmm. And that is exactly, it has been employed against us, that we are put in circumstances to compete against each other for resources. And so when somebody's mad at the show, because like you said, sure, I'll drink my coffee and be like, you're not wrong. And I got to pay my rent. And so what we going to do?
And also you have to go, every generation, as although it doesn't seem like it, gets better. Mm-hmm. I know it doesn't seem like it. But I want you to think about, yes, we've got police brutality and police violence and craziness. It is rampant and stupid and awful, and it's got to stop. But everybody has a cell phone now. Back when I was a kid, Rodney King, that dude had a video camera, and it was on his shoulder as he videotaped from his apartment down there at Rodney King being beaten up. The police didn't know what to do. There was evidence. Oh my God.
Right.
You attack anybody with a camera, you attack. Now everybody got a camera. You can't attack everybody with a camera because everybody got a camera. We've come ahead. Now all of a sudden, white folks are starting to understand because the world has got the internet. Remember when every mall looked different? Now all the malls look exactly alike. They got a Starbucks, they got a sushi place, they got a Target, they got Five Guys, and they usually have, some form, there's like that one thing you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, there's a Verizon in here. We can go in there. How do you know? I'm pretty sure there's a Verizon in here because it's a mall. You know what I mean? So everybody has not the same story, but we can all understand because we have the internet now. So every generation, times are changing. This generation that's about to open back up to Broadway when it opens, hopefully in the fall, they're going to come through with a whole different look than what happened when, Ted Ross and Stephanie Mills and those brothers stepped on stage for The Wiz. They're going to have a whole different look from when the cast of Tina stepped on stage. Just a year. We're going to step on for something different. There are more black writers. There are more black people who want to be producers. There are more women doing things. And you know what's funny? I always make sure that I mention women because there is nothing like being in an interracial relationship. Because when you're a black man and you have all of the things that go along with that, and then you have a white woman who says, literally, she said this, that's great. And I totally understand. And I fear for you because you are my husband. But there will be a black woman in the presidency before there will be a white woman. And I said, why did you say that? She said, because this country sees black women as strong. This country sees black women as someone you can follow. And when a white woman says something, we're Karens. And if we say the wrong thing at the wrong time, it's over. And yes, there's a whole discussion there, and we will have that again someday, Sasha. I can see it in your face. But
I'm like,
no. What I mean by that,
keep going.
What I mean by that is when you look at Michelle Obama. She's the president's wife who was more respected than the others. Why? Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to her.
It didn't start out like that though.
No, you're right, but still,
it didn't start out like that.
You're right, but Sasha, there's it's kind of like this. People always say there's racism, but I know when I walk down the street, white men move out my way because they don't know what kind of black man I am. You move out of the way of a black woman because you don't know what kind of black woman she is. She could start some shit. She could start some not shit. And I just say, in our relationship, it's amazing how it seems as if people would rather put a powerful black woman in office before they would do a white woman. But that's just me.
I see that. What I will say though is that we had a white woman as a nominee for president before we had a black woman even selected, and she was not nominated. She was selected to be a running mate.
Absolutely right.
But what I also think is really interesting, and I love that you're talking about this, because again, it goes into the trappings we all fall into, or just that the way things are set up. It's like, it's not working out for anybody 100% of the time, really.
No.
And really, when you talk about race, and then you talk about sex and gender and how people are perceived and where the pitfalls are for them, there is this dynamic, I believe, between white women, Black women, and Black men, where we miss each other. Like the women's movement missed working class Black women. It missed them completely and screwed itself over. So I will say there are some things within the Karen sphere that they have to resolve within themselves because of the deals they have cut collectively with white men.
Yes, that is true. And the thing about it is there's also this thing where, this is terrible. This is absolutely awful. But the white man sees Black women sometimes as moms.
Oh, everybody sees us as moms.
White women, exactly. So the white woman, they like, well, your wives, we don't listen to y'all. We don't listen to y'all. We don't listen to you.
Yeah.
You go listen to those old movies with like Ben Crosby, and the Black woman walks in and he goes, I'm gonna listen to her. I'm not gonna bother. Oh, one of my favorites every Christmas, Nick, I know you know this. Every Christmas is It's a Wonderful Life. And the Black woman
love that movie.
And the Black woman comes out, and what do the white men do when she talks? Yes. Shut up, because she's we don't want to bother her. But that is a generation thing. So there's,
but you know what? Okay, but James, you know that scene? In that scene when she's at the table, and she starts chasing her, and he's like popping her with the towel. And I remember watching that this year, and I was like, that is so sexual. Yes. And it made me so uncomfortable.
Oh, listen.
Because she has no power in that house to demand respect.
Going back, but in the same token, these white men are thinking that it is respect because she runs everything, and so they listen to her, their advice. Both films, both the Holiday Inn and that one, when he has trouble, he goes to the Black woman. She goes, "Hey, you know what you should be doing?" And he goes, "You know what? You're right." He didn't listen to his mama. He didn't listen to his wife.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's this weird thing we have in history. But I will say this to get back to it, and also this is Nick's show, and we never let him talk. I will say this. We have so much to fix, and I use fix in a loosely word, because when we say fix, it always sounds like we have to like take them down and do this. No. Sometimes it literally is about just listening. It literally is about just listening. We have this thing with Black men who feel like we are over-sexualized or stupid or this or that. And then when we are intelligent, we're dissed by our own. We have this thing where women are going, we're not listened to at all. So I don't know what the hell y'all are arguing about. I don't know what the hell y'all are mad about. And then you have this thing where there's these white guys who are like, we are in charge. And there's the white guys going, hey, I literally just want to be somebody's friend. Why everybody's mad at me? I literally just got here. And every time something happens, I don't even know if I can open my mouth. It's this weird thing. But the subject we're on is Black boy joy, or I should say Black joy. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, people who are watching the Chaos Twins, you are looking at 3 Black folks who are Black. That sounds really stupid, but it's honestly, it doesn't.
No, I love that. I love that.
It doesn't matter what we listen to. It doesn't matter what we dance to. It doesn't matter what we sing. We're Black. And so the thing that we should be appreciating this month, scratch that, appreciating every day of our lives is that we're alive and that our individuality in itself will shine as Black joy. And so when someone asks you, are you proud? Yeah. Are you proud to be Black? I have no choice. I'm proud to be alive. It's not like I can say, it's like my wife always asks, they say, do you like being tall? And she's like, I have no choice. I'm it's not like tomorrow I can go, you know what? I'm gonna take these stilts off, and really rest my feet. I can't, it's not gonna do that. So this whole thing of like, are you proud to be Black? You have no choice. If you're proud and you're Black, you're proud to be Black. just the way it is. So accept it, deal with it. And if somebody don't like it, this is the thing that it takes us so long to get. It really does. And it really is so simple yet mature at the same time. Deal with it. If you don't like it, I ain't gotta deal with you. But we as people, especially theater people, we feel like we gotta be, we're a community, we're family. Nah, we ain't family. We work together. This is a family. Sasha, Nick, myself, we family. We all work together. We know when you've known your family, when you've known each other enough years where you can be irritated with somebody and still talk to them the next day.
Yeah, that happens a lot in the theater, right?
So if that's it, then cool, your family.
But yeah, you got to go through that thing and then decide on the other end of that whole show that y'all still gonna keep in touch.
And we've all been here. When the show is over, you're like, if I see that person at an audition, I may have to call my agent and be like, I'm not doing this show.
The development, you get the cast list, you get the first email, you like, dang, okay. All right, that's what this is gonna be. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
So I'm gonna just take, when they say the vote for the lunch is an hour, 30 minutes, I'm gonna make it an hour so I can at least get 20 minutes away from that person, so I can get my spirit together, so I can get back to the rehearsal without having to choke them with a prop or something. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And Nick, I just want Black.
Thank
Never forget that. And your mama did a great job with you. Your mama did a fantastic job with you. And also, dancing skips a generation. My father can't dance. My father can't dance at all. And he's Black, big, buff, brother. My mama got rhythm. My daddy haven't got rhythm. Now, the fact that you need work on rhythm, it's not your mom and dad's fault. Your mom and dad are great people. Listen, here's the thing. When you and Sarah have a kid, your child will probably have rhythm. It may skip a generation. Now, don't get me wrong, Nick, you dance well. I mean, you're amazing. I mean, just because you're not like Daniel Watts or like Nick Grimes. I mean, like Grimes or whatever. But you move well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't. But I mean, you move well, Nick. It's okay. I mean, nobody's asking you to go out there. You play Otis. Nobody's asking
Nick,
you to go out there.
I can't help you. You're gonna have to find a way to pivot to the questions.
I'm gonna have to do it.
The 10 questions.
I'm gonna have to do it. No, here's what I'm gonna say.
I can't help.
No, and you don't need to. This is such a fascinating conversation, and there's so many angles to it, and there's so many things. And the one thing I want to add before we get to James is 10 questions.
Did you change the question?
No.
Okay.
No, there's James Lipton 10, baby. The one thing I do want to add is, Sash, your original question was why the divisions? Why is there a division? And it's because the American lie is that there's only room at the top for a few.
Right.
That's why the divisions. That's why. And so it is a scenario by which we are pitted against each other, especially as people of color, because we've had this conversation before, but it's the kind of thing where, again, I'll say I think the example we used last time, Strange Loop wins the Pulitzer. So that's my definition of blackness for the year. Yep. That's black for the year because Strange Loop won. My black doesn't work. If I'm not Slave Play or Strange Loop, I don't count. Lynn's blackness won in 2015. So if I'm not part of Lynn's blackness or Lynn's definition of color, I don't count. That's the lie that we're fighting. That's why because there's only one of us that gets through every year.
100%. I've dealt with it too. Like when we have shows and we celebrate the Black show as the Black Broadway community, and I'm like, well, what about all these other 10 guys? They're the only one in their show. They need some support. Yes. They need to be recognized for holding it down, and when you are, it's just being Black, like you said, it's who you are. And so we should celebrate it and be proud and allow people to be proud in every iteration and every circumstance of that. As a community, we can support each other.
So with that, supporting and loving, James, we love you. You are the big brother we never asked for, but we will never, ever, ever. I wouldn't know what to do without you. And you truly are, one of the leaders of this industry, if not the face of this industry most times. And I'm just so honored to have you on this show, man. And we love you. So I want to end with these 10 questions really fast. So obviously the James Lipton 10 guys, this is how we end every show. We end it with asking the questions that James Lipton asked inside the actor studio to people who have not had the chance because James Lipton sadly passed. But we're going to rectify it here. James, what is your favorite word?
I would say, my favorite word is love.
Mm-hmm. What is your least favorite word?
Stupid.
What turns you on?
Oh, that's well, okay. You know what? Enjoying life.
What turns you off?
Bitter people.
What sound or noise do you love?
I've always wanted to answer this question because I used to watch the show all the time, and I'm going to get in trouble for it. So I'm going to say 2, and hope I don't get shot. But the 2 are applause and the satisfaction of my wife.
There it is. There it is. And good night, everybody. No. What sound or noise do you hate?
Babies crying or kittens yelling. Or small animals yelling. I always like, find them, make them better. Find the cat, find the dog.
I love
Find the child. Who's not holding them?
Find it. What is your favorite curse word?
There's so many, but I'm sorry. And please don't shoot me, Mom, if you see this motherfucker, because it just describes everything.
Yes, it does. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? Professional
wrestler.
Yes, that tracks. What profession other than your own would you least like to attempt?
Janitor. Because I don't like nasty things and I throw up really easy.
It's so funny you played one.
No, that's why I'm an actor.
Yikes. I love that. And finally,
you were great in the show.
You were great. You were in fact great. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome, and boy, do I have a story for you.
Ooh, I love that.
I love that. James, you are the best. Guys, so listen, here's the thing. We are committing to every other Wednesday. We have a producer who has joined us to make us streamlined. Her name is Brittany. There she is.
Together.
Yeah, no, we're
I would have done my hair for you.
Oh please.
Yes,
no. It's beautiful. Brittany, I'll take you out now. That's Brittany. She's amazing. And she has us committing to every other week.
We're putting a ring on it. We're putting a ring on every other Wednesday.
We're going through it. So you will see us not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday afterwards. And we will continue talking about Black Joy and Black History Month. James Iglehart with his glove.
We want to start, and for all you out there, I want y'all to personally just start a GoFundMe for Nick, and someone raise money to get him a new glove. He needs one. He needs a glove. I need y'all to put some money together and just send it to the Sasha and I will put together like a little hashtag or something, like buy Nick a glove. Britt, we put together a glove. Shiny glove for Nick. Hashtag shiny glove for Nick. So
I don't like that hashtag.
That on Nick on his social media. Hashtag shiny glove for Nick, so Nick can feel like his old self. So he can. Thank you, shiny glove for Nick. Thank you, Nick.
I don't like that. I think that's the worst. I think that's the worst idea. I don't like that.
Shiny glove for Nick. I'm sorry, Nick. This is this is just your life now. I can't help you.
Great. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Guys, we will see you in 2 Wednesdays. Have a wonderful day. We love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.